Hey.
You have a good appreciation for other coaches in the league.
Yes.
So, how did you think 2 and 18 team performed against you guys?
Listen, irregardless, you when you get a win on the road anywhere, you're just thankful and you move on. And this is no different than this, other than the fact that they're going to beat somebody. And I'm just glad tonight it wasn't us. He's got them playing very hard and scrappy, and they're all in. And it's a great credit to him and just the things they've gone through. And I've said, weeks ago just about, patience with coaches like him that are just starting their careers. And he's on the right track, and he's been obviously well schooled by Gorge. And you just got to stay patient. And no one, I don't care who you are, Phil Jackson or anyone, is going to survive those many injuries and try to get through something other than to try to have a successful year. And in my opinion, he's having a successful year because they're competing. They're not giving in to anybody, and they're scrapping and fighting. We got to come back here one more time, and I'm not looking forward to it. But that to me is winning. It might not be what the fans want to see or people want, but he's winning in a different way, and he's building something. And just credit to the staff and Jacob for just the perseverance to do what he's doing. In our hand, it's, again, you went on the road and it wasn't pretty, and there's a lot of areas that we're just not consistent in. And we had some leads and we just gave them right back, and we just have to do better. And we have, again, monumental games every time we play, so it seems like every game's worth something, and it's exciting to be involved in it.
It seemed like there was a lot of flow offensively with side to side.
Yeah.
How do you feel the offense has progressed from the start of the season?
Yeah, our offense has been solid. It's been much better than last year in general, just our overall scoring and pace of what we're playing at. Our defense has slipped quarters, not total games. We've just had bad quarters that have been unrecoverable at times, or we've just walked teams to the foul line quite a bit. But we continue to battle and fight and scrap, and our offense seems to be, in good spots. We have a lot of guys trying to play, and, having Matt back, a bigger body, and Sam, and slowly trying to get them back, which is difficult to get their minutes, will help us, I think, defensively. They were our two best defenders on the wings that we had last year, and they're important to us.
You talk about bringing those guys back in. That makes a sacrifice, so someone like Clint doesn't
Yeah.
play Isaac.
Yeah.
What's your philosophy going into it? Is it a game-by-game matchup thing, or is it?
It can be some matchup things. It can be that. I just don't have to worry about ever telling these guys to be ready because they're all ready to go. I don't have to worry about Clint Steinel tomorrow pouting and being upset and being, grumpy on the plane because he didn't play. We have humble and hungry guys that are high character, and that's what I put this team together with. And they're just ready to go when their name's called, and it's just the sacrifice of being a team, and that's what the Jack Jumpers are. We defend the island for the 600,000 that are standing in there wanting us to swing above our weight, and that's what we do, and we do it collectively.
How did you feel the first game back?
Yeah, good. I mean, it's been a long process, so I was excited to just be out there, to be honest. I only played 6 minutes, and I'm happy to just be out there, so yeah.
Do you sense a difference between this team when you left after your injury and where it is now? Do you feel like there's progress has been made?
I think there is in certain aspects, but like Scott said, I think our offense is great, and it has been throughout the whole course of the year, but I think our defense still isn't where it was, and that's not because me and Sam got injured. It wasn't where it should have been when we got injured. So we're still working every day to get back to that level.
Scott, last time you played, then you had 5 players in double figures. This time it was 5 again, plus Josh with 9. 22 assists on 33 made buckets. So clearly there's lots of ingredients to this team, but I suppose that also means that the coach's job of managing it is maybe a little bit more complicated.
It's a good problem to have because most teams are getting depleted at this time of the year and going through a lot of injuries. Obviously, we just got done playing a team like that, and you got to show up and play, and we're back at full strength, but I wouldn't say we're back in full rhythm of who we have, and you just got to navigate it. And again, I don't have to worry about these guys being grumpy or upset that someone doesn't play in a game. To win this kind of game, and I'd say Milt Doyle was kind of average in general for us to get through it, and other guys step in. Weeks, he was incredible for us off the bench with his energy, and they just pop up and play, and that's kind of been our ingredient last year and this year of just relentless guys that just want to do the right things for everyone.
You won the rebounding count 39-38, but I heard you mentioning rebounding focus a couple of times in your timeouts. Is
Yeah.
that one of the areas that you don't think you have that consistency in?
Well,
Earlier on?
we've been a very good rebounding team. We're one of the best rebounding teams in the league, but this team survives, I think, in the last 3 or 4 weeks of second shots and reloads, and Harvard getting another reload at a 3 or Dang or someone. And so they're big and athletic around there, and it was a priority for us coming in to try to keep them off the glass as best we could. And I think they were averaging about 16 offensive rebounds in the last 3 or 4 games. So that fuels a lot of extra possessions and a lot of reloads, and we were trying to eliminate some of those.
What were some of the other areas that you want better consistency in?
I think just containment of the ball and guarding it slightly better. But more importantly, I think for us is just the discipline of we want teams to be sped up, but we don't want to be just giving up layups in the process of speeding these teams up. And in the first 7-8 minutes of the game, they didn't score in the half court. They scored out of our press, which is good for us at times, but we have to have a happy median in there of getting the ball leveled off. And then the other thing for me would be just the consistency across the board of doing their jobs and our philosophy of how we guard just better. And we continue to preach it.
You looked really good in most patches of that game. Were you disappointed that they came back into it, though?
Well, I'm not surprised that they did just because of their fight. I am disappointed that we, weren't able to extend the lead a little bit longer there, and we were in the bonus with 3 or 4 minutes to go and just, coughed the ball up a few times, uncharacteristic of us. But we have to be better. But the reality is, you got to turn the page, and we're on to Adelaide on Thursday, and you just can't look back, and you just got one big game after another. And again, it's kind of survive and move on, in my opinion, of where these 5 or 6 teams that are bunched together are.
Coach, your personal philosophy you've spoken about not shooting at the end of games, given that the playoff race is so close and percentage matters, would you ever change that in order to potentially get?
Yeah, I think it's just time and score what's transpiring. If you got 36 seconds on the shot clock and we have a possession going down, we're going to try to score. But if we have 8 seconds to go and we're up 8 or 9 points, to me it's just sportsmanship, and that's how I was brought up, and I understand the whole dynamics of it all. And to me, you just eat the ball. And that's just me, and it might cost us, I don't know. But I'm not a fan of that rule, just in general, of the points.
With the percentage to decide finals position, even though not taking your shot
Yeah.
might actually cost Tasmania fans seeing their teams out of the finals, you'd be willing to die on that hill?
I'm willing to do what's right and what I believe how basketball is supposed to be played. And if 8 seconds to go and we're up 10 points and we think we got to jam a ball down someone's throat to prove a point, then I wasn't brought up the right way of how to play basketball. I get the rule, but I wasn't brought up that way.
Scott, you touched on Weeksy before. I don't know, he might need to be drug tested. He's 34, but he's played awesome so far this year. What did you make of his performance specifically?
Well, that's kind of strong there, Jared.
He shot 4 or 5 from 3 tonight, and he did a big dunk the other week. We didn't.
Okay. Let's pump the brakes on him a little bit. Let's don't build him up too much. No, again, he's just ready to go, and he's all in, and he's the captain of the team with Clint, and they're just ready to go. And he takes his opportunities. He works extremely hard at what he does. Our guys are tireless workers just in general across the board. And again, he gets an opportunity and he makes the right plays and he's impactful. And that's all we're asking from guys. But the drug testing, I think we can hold off on that one.
I remember in the pre-season we asked you who sort of impressed you the most, and you actually pointed out Weeksy and said how good a shape he came in the pre-season. Does it surprise you or not surprise you, I guess, how well he's going based on that?
No, I mean, he's taking care of himself. It's obviously a little bit smaller when you're a smaller player to physically be where he is at his age and stuff. And it's just a credit to him and his work ethic and what he's been doing. And he's just been fantastic for us in general.
What did you make of Richard's game at 18 points? He hit some big shots in the last quarter as well.
Yeah, when he's engaged and a little bit more relentless in some of the things that we ask him to do and let the game come to him, he can be quite effective. And I thought he did a very nice job in there on the glass and made some big points for us and just was solid for us, which, again, some nights it's him, some nights it's McVay, some nights someone else steps in. I thought Fab was great in minutes that were out there, were hugely impactful. And it's just the little things in these type of games that will allow you to win and progress.
And what about with Jack? You mentioned he's sort of playing through injury at 15 and hit some big buckets late as well. Is the process with him is just going to play through this injury and hope it sort of slowly heals over time? Or?
Yeah, I think really with him and just any of these guys that are a little dinged up at this time of the year, everyone's hurt. I mean, it's professional sports, and guys are, nicked up, and he's just going to have to man up and play through it and do the best he can, and no excuses. I've told all these guys all along, you can't play, you can't play. But I don't want you going out there limping around having an excuse of why you're out there. So credit to him to continue to fight through this, and he is getting better, which is good. He just hasn't had practice time, which is the thing that I think is hurting him really in the long run.
You touched on it before, how Clint won't sook or anything that he didn't play tonight. Moving forward, is it a philosophy of just matchups? That's how you're sort of mainly going to decide who takes the court? Yeah, I think, we're going to give these guys a swing early on, a few of our guys, and see who's doing what early. And Clint will be ready to go against Adelaide. And, he's a fresh body that we can throw out there, obviously, that should be ready to go. And we'll continue to rely on Clint for his leadership and his shooting. And it's just one of those things. He didn't play tonight. And Kenny, you touched on it before, but I guess just how much did you miss being out there and talk about the sort of recovery process and how good it was to be back out with the guys tonight?
Yeah, like I said, it was amazing. It's been a very long process. Me and Sammy have been working really hard, so just to get out there, whether it's 6 minutes, 1 minute, no matter what, just to feel the boys' energy and the camaraderie, it's been great.
Thanks, Kenny. And Scott, just one last one. Obviously, a quick turnaround against the 36ers in a couple of days.
I thought you were going to ask if I made a half-court shot today.
No.
I did not.
Should I? Okay, I won't ask that.
Okay, but go ahead.
Recording.
Yep.
What challenges do the 36ers present? What sort of the focus? What do you need to adjust, I guess, from tonight's performance?
Well, they're big and athletic, and they'll be in the passing lanes. They got aggressive defenders. We got value the ball and not turn it over, and you're going to have to sit down and guard. They got a lot of guys that can score the ball, and they're just a lively bunch of guys that can really put a lot of pressure on you, and you're never too far ahead of them or too far behind them, just with their explosiveness. And Cleveland has, risen to the top again of the best defender, in my opinion, in the league. He's just everywhere and causing a lot of problems. And you just got to be able to finish games out and play through it. And we get to go back home, which is, a great bonus for us. And we got to take advantage of being in that court with our fans, hopefully going crazy in this game.
Kenny, I've just got one more from you. Obviously, if you stood up on Thursday, we get to wear the Tassie Heritage top. I guess, what have you made of them, and how cool do you think that'll be to see the fans embrace that sort of heritage side of things on Thursday?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. First of all, they look awesome. And I think just we have a bloodlines, is what we call it, where we're really connected with the past, Tassie Devils, which is pretty awesome. We had them at training, showed them the jerseys, and they really loved it. So just to be connected to the past, it's amazing. I can't wait to wear it.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.